It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hey guys, what's up? You're watching Up and Adam. My name's Adam Newell. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm the guy bringing you guys all the weekly interviews and recaps from your favorite celebrities and pop culture influencers. But for those of you who do know me, you know that that's not why we're always here, right? Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because you guys don't want to miss anything we have coming up. And let me tell you, it's going to be good. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. All right, guys, so if you haven't been watching, I don't necessarily blame you. The Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 13 has been a little bit of a doozy. And when I say a doozy, I mean kind of a snore fest. We're trying to get into it. We're seeing where it's going, but we know that NeNe Leakes is not filming this year, obviously, if anybody's been watching. And I'm not necessarily blaming how seemingly boring this season is because of NeNe's absence, but a lot of people are kind of writing in and commenting saying, what is going on this season? It's almost hard to watch. They can't wait for New York to come out, New Jersey to come out, Beverly Hills. I mean, because after Real Housewives of Orange County and now Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's kind of like, what are we doing at this point? But what we do know is, aside from the kind of dull storylines that we have going on this year, except for Portia and her activism work, which is amazing, putting herself on the front lines and being a part of the Black Lives Matter movement, that's fantastic. And I love that we get to see that part of her life. We're not seeing much from the other women. We see Kandi sending her daughter Riley off to college, which is, okay, that's a milestone because we've seen Riley grow up on camera, right? And then Cynthia Bailey, who I love, but wants this obnoxious, huge wedding during a pandemic. I don't think people can really relate to that. We're seeing Drew Sidora, who is brand new. She's originally from the game, and she is coming in not to play any games, it seems, by sharing and putting all of her information regarding her marriage right there on the forefront of the screen, letting us know that her marriage is not perfect. Her and her husband, Ralph, do not have the best or most conventional marriage. And when I say that, it's because they're sharing with us that Ralph disappears for days at a time. He disappears, he leaves the scene, he goes away for like 2-3 days. And when he comes back and she says, where were you? He says, how is that going to help you if I tell you where I was? How is that going to make you feel better? It's not. So stop asking. And it's kind of a double standard because Drew Sidora is sitting back like, wait a minute, I'm sitting at home with your kids. You're off running around. You're watching me on the cameras that you have rigged up around the house, and you get to go to the beach running around with God knows who? I don't think so. So honestly, I kind of commend her for putting all of this out there on her first season of this reality show because at the end of the day, it is a big deal. Letting people into your family life, into your marriage, into your personal life, that's huge because you don't necessarily know the criticism that you're going to receive after doing so. But Drew Sidora is not the only one who's having marriage problems this season. There's a few others, and one of them, who is a friend of, would probably be another example of that. And when I say probably, I mean absolutely be another example of that. We have YouTuber LaToya Ali, who joined the cast, but she's not only coming in, she's coming in hot. And when I say hot, I mean she is coming in with a no-holds-bar sort of attitude. She's coming in kind of ripping the women apart, whether it's the new girl Fallon, who's just sort of filming here and there, letting her know, oh, how old's your husband? Oh, I thought you look like a girl that would date older men for money. Okay, well, that's not necessarily how you start off a conversation with people, LaToya. And then also telling Drew Sidora, well, telling everybody else but Drew Sidora, that Drew's wig looked like a pet. Looked like she had like a cat on top of her head or something, which is ridiculous. Now, I know that we are going to have Drew Sidora defend herself in this upcoming episode. If you guys have seen the previews, when the girls go on their girl trip, Drew Sidora is going to talk about how, hey, I thought that wig looked great, especially during a pandemic. Like, I'm trying my best. I'm a mom. I'm at home with my kids, and I have a lot of things going on. What's your problem with me? I can't wait to see that side of Drew because if she's not putting up with it at home, she should not put up with it with these ladies. Speaking though of marriage problems, since you guys pried it out of me, and what we're here to talk about today is there is a man of the Real Housewives of Atlanta that we've just recently gotten to know, probably since 2017, 2018. The marriage was in 2018 in St. Lucia, and it was to Kenya Moore. That's right, guys. I'm talking about Mark Daly, and he has recently announced that he is not only separated, not reconciling with his soon-to-be ex-wife Kenya Moore, but in fact divorcing. He did file divorce one time before, so I'm sure you guys are probably at this point like, this isn't news. We've already seen this play out on the screens. That's what we're watching right now. He filed divorce. Right. He filed divorce one time before and blindsided Kenya, but then he immediately retracted the divorce less than 24 hours after. This time, that is absolutely not the case. He has filed for divorce. He's put out a statement. He's letting all of us know what he thinks, how he plans to move forward, and this is what he said. After recently attending mediation, Kenya and I have both decided to end our marriage. I will always have great care for her, and I look forward to co-parenting and raising our baby with an abundance of love and wisdom. Seems like a very great statement to put out. Seems a little bit contrived, but also they're on public platforms, and honestly, they're co-parents. So why wouldn't they wish the best for each other, right? I mean, at least that's how I feel. However, before that statement was put out, Kenya put out a statement saying, I have not filed for divorce. He, being Mark Daly, filed and he retracted the statement and he withdrew it less than 24 hours. So we've gotten past that. She also went on to say that right now, Mark is really fighting for his marriage. He wants to go to counseling and he also wants to make a public apology. She said that he's made appointments for all of these things and she never thought she'd see this day. And mind you guys, this was just last month, December 2020, on Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen. However, Mark Daly did go on with his statement after saying that he does plan on getting a divorce and co-parenting with Kenya, that as always, he plans to move forward with his self-improvement. And also he plans on focusing to help the underserved and the people of color in Brooklyn. He wants to help everybody in his community recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. And he really wants his restaurant and in the community to make a safe place where people can get together and have these tough conversations about the economy, social activism, and political engagement, but in a safe forum. He says that he feels blessed to be a positive change agent, not just in his family, but also in his community. And that's kind of where Mark Daly left it. However, Kenya has not broken her silence yet addressing any of this. I'm sure she will soon because Kenya doesn't let somebody pull the wool over her eyes. We've seen it on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. She's not going to get got by Mark Daly without getting him back. I just want to say that she, especially with him kind of taking the foot, putting his best foot forward and saying, you know what, we're trying, whatever he's saying, she, if she wasn't a part of that statement, will probably feel like he's trying to clown her by not involving her in the statement. So we're going to have to see, especially when she just did this appearance again in December, less than a month ago on Watch What Happens Live. There's no way that she's going to be okay with this. And if she is, I'll be totally surprised. And I'm sure you guys will be too. But I'm curious, do you guys as the fans feel like Mark Daly was a good fit for Kenya Moore? Do you feel like this relationship could have worked if they would have put in the effort? Or do you feel like this was a manufactured marriage just like Nene says? Nene and some of the other cast members have sat there and reamed Kenya, saying that she had a manufactured marriage, that she had a rent-a-man, and so many other things, because we know this group. This group tends to be a little bit shady towards each other, and they're known for saying the shade and so many other different little sayings, but they like to go after each other and they have an interesting way of doing that. And that's what sort of solidifies their position on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. They're really good at it and they continue to do it. And then they come back together as friends. I think that's why we love watching them so much. For example, Marlo Hampton. Marlo Hampton sits there and shades Kenya and then she gets invited to her group events. Then she shades her at her group events and then she gets invited to another event. And they just have this weird banter. You know, if you guys do remember, Portia Williams did drag Kenya Moore across the reunion floor, dragged her, ripped her up and dragged her. And she's still going to Portia's events and Portia's still showing up for Kenya. No, I'm not talking about Portia's event that her sister did for her that was celebrating her activism work. I just mean other events in general, and they have the ability to film with each other. You guys know what I mean. However, I'm not just excited to hear your thoughts about that. I also want to know what you guys think about this season, season 13 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Do you have a favorite cast member? Is there any one storyline that you're looking forward to most? Have you been catching my recaps with RJ Allen? Because if you haven't, you should be. And do you wish that we would still have our OG of Atlanta, Nene Leakes? Even though we know that we're not going to get Nene Leakes back on our screens, at least for Bravo, because she did kind of run a whole smear campaign of boycott Bravo because she feels like she was treated a certain way. And you can't take that away from anybody. If someone feels like they were discriminated against or treated wrong or whatever else Nene is saying, these are her feelings. So obviously, as a business and a company, Bravo will have to listen to her feelings and address them. And we're going to have to see how this moves forward. With that being said, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and comment to all the questions that I asked you below. I look forward to hearing your thoughts. And if you haven't, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. Until next time, bye, guys.
Thanks for watching Up and Adam.